It was my privilege to host a wide-ranging discussion with 5 Birmingham locals from all walks of life. Among the many things we discussed was how they're each coping almost a year into the pandemic and how they've seen it affect Black and brown communities firsthand. Watch this.
Unfortunately, the pandemic is a manifestation of what we've always seen. You know, there have always been disparities and inequities in healthcare. It's been said that, you know, if America gets a cold, then the Black community gets the flu or pneumonia. And practically what that's meant is a lot of Black people are frontline workers. They could not stay home. They were essential, and so they made up a large proportion of the cases, but even more so, there's a lot more morbidity, a lot more sickness, a lot more death. And so I think it's an overall example of how much work we have to do in our country to make sure that, you know, we can reach, you know, healthcare equality.
I'm a small business owner. We own a gourmet kettle corn company here in Birmingham, Naughty But Nice Kettle Corn, and we are almost considered frontline workers. I mean, we kind of would be in the sector of the food and beverage industry, and many of our team members had to make sacrifices. Early on, we had to kind of furlough, I guess you could say, most of our team. My husband also lost his corporate job, which made us have to lean on this growing company even more. It's sad to say that it took a pandemic for more financial resources to be available for small business owners. Prior to that, as the doctor mentioned, the disparities in the lending practices, and when it comes to areas of equity and collateral, those are the things that really help to prop up a small business. And if people of color are not living in affluent neighborhoods that have that equity, a lot of times in the past it was hard to get funding. So fortunately for us, we've been able to take advantage of many minority grants. A lot of corporations have jumped in to really do their due diligence to be more conscious of the attributions they can make to the Black community, especially small business owners.
In the last year, with COVID, we've definitely seen a huge impact within the salon, actually within the beauty industry as a whole. It's been some gains and it has been some losses. When they said Alabama could open back up and we could open our salon back up, they were ready. They were tired of being at home and trying to do their hair. They were tired of trying to figure out what to do with their hair. So they were ready to come back, and so we were ready to welcome them back. But we just had to create order so that they felt safe and we felt safe to be able to service them.
And when do you think things get back to normal?
We will never go back to what it was. I've already expressed that with my clients, that we will never go back to the way it was. It will forever be like this.
Marcidian, when I met you and somebody asked what you did, you said, I'm just an iron worker. Iron worker is the history, or a very big part of the history of this city. We're at an ironworks, an old furnace. Tell us a bit about the role of your industry in Birmingham.
Our ironworker industry, excuse me, has created an opportunity for us to take what we see here and convert it into something usable. Normally, iron is just a piece of metal laying on the ground or something. And us, with the help of engineers and designers, have been able to fabricate, erect, install, and build. And if you look at the city, you can understand the importance of ironwork here, as well as the rest of the areas of the country.
Sherilyn, possibly the unspoken tragedy of coronavirus has been mental health. This is actually the business you're in. Mm-hmm. Tell me what you've seen.
You know, as a suicide attempt survivor and as one who continues to suffer from depression and anxiety, the pandemic has just taken a toll on my mental well-being. It has taken a toll on the adolescents that my nonprofit, a friend of mine, serves, their well-being. Before the pandemic, I met with adolescents weekly, monthly. You know, I did yoga and meditation with them. I journaled with them. I interacted with them. I mentored them. And then when COVID hits, it's like, okay, well, no more. You cannot see these adolescents in person. Everything has to go to being virtual. So now you have adolescents who are experiencing an array of things, a drastic change in all of their schedules. They can't go to school and interact with their friends. They can't participate in programs that promote their mental well-being. They're isolated at home. Many times their parents are not at home because their parents have to go out and work. So it's just the adolescents taking care of adolescents. When those idle minds just start to continue to be idle, that can increase the risk of suicide. And not being able to reach those adolescents has been heartbreaking to me.
May I ask you, as a suicide attempt survivor and someone who continues to struggle with depression and anxiety, speaking to my viewer, what is your advice for them?
First, they should know you are not alone. 1 in 5 adults suffer from depression or will have a mental illness of some kind. So seek help. Parents, start having these conversations with your adolescents. These conversations are difficult to have, I know, but they must be had.
In the Black community, just as Sherilyn talked about, we suffer with depression, anxiety, at the same rates as everyone else, but our willingness to reach out to those resources, our willingness to acknowledge that we need help, we sometimes can stigmatize it and, say, well, I'll sometimes tell my patients, well, it sounds like, you may be suffering from anxiety or depression. Why don't we get you with a therapist or a counselor? And the retort is that, that no, I'm not crazy. So, having people understand that, your mental health is equivalent to your physical health. Mm-hmm. Having depression, anxiety, you need to address it as you would hypertension or, diabetes.
I want to give my thanks to that wonderful group of people for indulging me in a fascinating conversation, and there's a lot more where that came from.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.